for joining the Mix Podcast. Today we have Juan Herrera. Thanks for joining, Juan. Like Juan said, I've been after him for a while now to get him on the podcast, and so we can talk about the cultural differences between Mexico and America, and the pros and cons of, his side of living in America versus Mexico, and his travels and how he got here, and the things that he, as far as food and those type of cultural differences, and so what would you like to elaborate on?
Oh, all right. So, by the way, first off, I'm not getting paid for this. But me and Josh, we go way back.
Yeah, we do.
And it's a small world because I got here in May of 2000. End of May. I think it was like around. It might have been 1st of June because we left El Paso from, I think it was like May 28th.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Tuesday night, and we didn't get to Atlanta until Sunday morning.
Wow.
We rode the Greyhound, and I remember asking Daddy, by the way, shout out to my dad, rest in peace, love you, Dad.
Yeah. Give your dad a big hand.
He's a great person. Anyhow, I remember being at the Greyhound bus station in Atlanta, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, are we almost there yet?" He's like, "Are we there yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, it ain't too far." Shit, we left the bus station at 6 o'clock in the morning that Sunday morning. So I remember looking at my watch, and I fell asleep and woke up at 12, and we're still on the road. And for the longest time, I thought Atlanta was 6 hours from Gainesville.
Oh, really?
So I don't know which way the bus went, but anyhow. So I've been here in Georgia ever since.
Okay.
And in July, I got a job at Wing Farms in Pendergrass. I worked there for almost 2 years.
Yeah, and it's funny that you worked there. That's where I grew up at.
Yeah, and because we started talking, and that's why I say it's a small world, because we were talking, and I told you where I worked before, and actually we know a lot of people in common.
Yeah.
And I actually know some of your family members, some of your kinfolks,
Yeah, and after we got to talking about these things, it gave me a sense of comfort and a feeling of home, because I hardly ever meet anyone that's from that area or even knows that area. So just to have the conversations with you about just the familiar things that I grew up with and I saw, just like when we were talking about that airplane.
Yeah.
We'd see that thing every day, so it was like, so that don't mean much to anybody else, but to me that meant a lot, because that brought back so many memories.
It was funny because, by the way, the area where he grew up at, there's this airplane that sits in somebody's front yard, and for the longest time I've been wanting to stop by and just kind of, I guess, look at it, but I'm always afraid that somebody come out with a gun or something.
It's just a random airplane. I don't know if the dude flew airplanes or if he just had an airplane.
So talking to him, and he was telling me about I grew up and I was like, dude, I know that area. I know that pretty good. And I was like, there's an airplane. He's like, yeah.
But get back on topic. So how old were you when you were making your journey?
So, all right. So I remember I must have been, it was back in '89 when I remember my daddy said, hey, I put in a petition for the family, so we're moving to the U.S.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
You're like, okay.
That was 89, right?
Yeah.
And then we didn't hear nothing else for years.
Yeah.
And it was actually end of 99, so it was 10 years later when we got a letter on the mail and said, hey, that we had to show up at the American consulate in Juarez, which is on the other side of El Paso, Texas, for an immigration interview.
Yeah.
And that is the main port of entry for legal aliens, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, if you come to the U.S. legally, you got to go through that.
Okay.
You got to go through that town, and you got to go to that consulate for an interview, and that's where they decide whether if you get your resident card or not. Which I don't know why they call it green card, because it wasn't
green.
It wasn't green. It was white.
So I guess maybe it's like a green light. You know, you get the go signal. You know, called it green. I don't know. I mean, I have to research it and try to find out. I don't know either. So
I don't know because.
But
I remember we went to the interview, but before that, when we got there, it was like, you got to be here on this day, right? But,
yeah.
But we had to get there like a few days before the actual interview, because we had to get a physical done.
Yeah.
And so it took a few days to get the results. I guess they wanted to see if we didn't have any diseases or anything.
Yeah.
Which we didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And once we got the results, we took them to the interview, and I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they're gonna call us into an office or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
No, well, it was actually like you get there, it's like going to the driver's license place.
Oh, okay. Just
you get there, you get a number, and you wait for your number, right?
Yeah.
And then when they call your number, you give them the number, and then they send you back, like, go sit down, because what they do is that with that number, and they'll get a little bit of your information, and then they go back and get your file.
Okay.
And then they call your number again, and then you just walk up to the counter, and dude, I guess the whole family's file was like thick, you know, and the lady was going through it, you know, and she was like, who's who? And I'm like, oh, that's me, or my little brother, my sister, my mom. She was asking just like questions, and then next thing I know, she gave me this piece of paper that said something about welcome to America.
Oh,
I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And later that night, we crossed the border, and they gave us an envelope, and they told us, like, each had an envelope, and they told us, like, do not open it. And when you get to the actual checkpoint, when you're fixing to cross the border, just give it to an immigration agent, and they'll take care of you. So we walked in, gave them the envelopes. They opened it, and I remember they pulled my passport out of the envelope, and they stamped it, and then they wrote like some kind of number, and then he said, all right, you're good to go.
Cool.
And then we got. It's funny because people say, "Hey, how did you come across the border?" And I was like, "Well, in the backseat of a car."
Road in the car.
I always say I didn't run or swim or jump across. I came across in the backseat of a car.
If you guys can read Juan's shirt, he just looks illegal.
Yeah, that's what it says. I just look illegal.
That's pretty good.
I wear it, especially the way things are here lately in the U.S. You know, I'm liable to get pulled over and be like, "Hey."
Yeah. Get profiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got my passport, which once I got my green card, or my resident card, rather, Um, I applied for my citizenship 7 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, but in order for you to become a citizen, you got to be a good citizen.
Yeah.
Having a resident card does not grant you a permanent, even though it's called a permanent resident card.
But it's not.
It's not. Like one little mistake can get you kicked out of the states.
Wow.
Yeah, well, depending on the severity of the.
Yeah. I mean, the traffic ticket ain't.
Yeah, no, a traffic ticket is not. I mean, something civil like that, or like seatbelt or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be like a major or like a felony,
Oh wow. Yeah.
killing somebody or I tell you what, if you do like an IRS fraud or whatever, that is like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that right there can get you out a lot quicker than anything else. So I remember Daddy, told us and begged us, like, please behave, please, and then apply for your citizenship. But when I got here, obviously I didn't speak no English at all.
Yeah, until that's I think that's one misconception is when a lot of people come to this country, they always hear it's a free country, and it's like it is, but yeah, we got a lot of rules too.
It is.
So,
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And here lately is just like, man, every step you take is like you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You
So, so let's talk about the cultural differences. Say, okay, when you went into your first time going to an American school.
Well, I was 20 years old when I came to the U.S.
Oh, okay. So you were older. Okay.
And so, not long after that, like I said, I got a job.
Yeah.
And I remember I needed to get my driver's license. And so I asked somebody from work. I was like, well, can you translate for me? So I got to get my license.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. They charged me $50 to go with me.
To interpret?
Yeah.
Being an interpret?
And I was just like, we get there and I was missing something. But I couldn't take the test because I didn't have I didn't have everything they wanted me to.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, but the lady was talking to this person was talking to her and like me, and I'm just like looking at them like a tennis match, just back and forth. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. What's he saying?
Yeah. I mean, I could just imagine, being in a different country and having somebody talk for you. That's
yeah. And so I recently went to Brazil a year ago, and I was like, dude, this is how Americans feel. Kind of frustrated because I couldn't communicate with them,
Yeah.
I had to rely on my phone and be like, hey, I want some coffee.
You get some of those earbuds, the ones that translate for you.
Yeah, the only thing about it is that in order for you have to give them to them,
Oh, okay, yes.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can talk to them, and it's Brazil. We're talking about Brazil, You can't flash anything because they'll take it from you. And I'm not being disrespectful, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
We went to Copacabana, which is like the most famous beach in Brazil. And dude, I tell you what, they told us, like, don't flash your phone. Like, don't get your phone out because nothing.
Take it.
Yeah. Just walk around, kind of try to blend in, but it's hard. It's funny when you can't even blend in with the locals,
Right. So
they're looking at me like, you're Mexican, aren't you? I was like,
no, I'm Brazil, man. I was born and raised here.
Yeah. So anyhow, I finally understood how Americans feel when they can't communicate with someone, especially with Hispanics here in the U.S.
Yeah, until and in America, most of the people that are raised here, they don't learn any other languages unless it's going to be something to do with like a profession,
Mm-hmm.
like a job wise, and that's but lot of the other cultures that move in, you know, some of them know 4 languages or something. You know what I mean?
So I remember I walking out of that driver's license place without my driver's license and $50 short, and then I was like, dude.
Didn't even know what went on.
What the hell? And so I got mad and I said, no, I'm not doing this no more. Or I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay somebody, basically.
Yeah.
So I came home and I was determined. I got to learn this, one way or another. Daddy said, you're too old. And I guess that was the drive for me.
Yeah.
I mean, did he doubted me? But that was, I mean, I think he sown the seed, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of like me actually saying, well, yeah, I guess you're right, you know?
Yeah, maybe that was his way of pushing you.
Yeah, I guess that was like reverse psychology.
Yeah.
You can't. I'll show you. And so, a block away from where we were leaving, there was a school. And it's sad because I went through there the other day and they closed that place down. But it was called Lanier Tech Adult Center in Gainesville.
Yeah.
And I used to work second shift. So therefore I'd go to school in the morning.
That was over there.
At the old Gainesville Mill.
Yeah, over there in Queen City.
Yeah.
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 Over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I remember that place.
So I went in there and enrolled first, right? And they asked me, like, well, because they had, like, different levels, you know?
Yeah.
I guess, like, beginners somebody said, you got to take, if you really, really want to learn, you got to take intensive classes.
Yeah.
But you got to make it happen. And one of the things that helped me out a lot was the teacher said, you got to think in English. Think in English.
Yeah. Good point.
Because he said, for instance, if I tell you in English, hey, can you give me the keys? Well, it goes in your brain and you got to translate it inside as to Spanish. Oh, okay. Then he wants me to give him the keys.
Yeah.
But instead of translating, you know, and be like, give me the keys. All right, cool. Here's the keys. You know?
Yeah.
You're actually saving time.
Yeah.
In your brain.
Because it's like a, you know, and too, it makes it more relatable. So you can, you know, if you learn something but you can't digest it, it's, you know, like you've seen these people that are really smart. They know things, but they only know. It's like how much? What am I trying to say? Like say for instance, they are really book smart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, to get back on topic with the whole culture thing was the.
So when I first got here, okay, one of the and I remember it was like our first Christmas, for instance.
Yeah.
Our first Christmas was here in the U.S. was like, oh my God.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, awesome. I'm not gonna deny it because it was the way I was raised, the way I was brought up. That was way different, like way different. And I'm not trying to sound disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we were doing it right and you guys are doing it wrong or vice versa, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a cultural thing. Right?
Yeah.
And the way I was raised and the way we celebrated Christmas, Santa Claus was not part of our celebration. You know, Santa Claus was like, I didn't even know who Santa Claus was. Like seriously, people don't believe me that, but for real, like for years, especially when I was a little kid, Santa Claus was not part of the celebration.
Yeah.
It was about the birth of Jesus Christ, and I remember Grandma, she would put up her nativity around Christmas, and it was all about 9 days before Christmas. It was all about going out and singing Christmas carols, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Going to church.
Well, I mean, that's what it's really about anyway,
And it was about going to church every day.
Yeah.
But you know why we went to church? Not because we actually wanted to go to church. It was because at the end of the night, every night, they would give out a bag of candies.
Oh, okay.
And it was like what I call a Mexican troll mix. Well, because it wasn't just candies.
Oh,
It was like they would put a handful of animal crackers and an orange and candies and peanuts and stuff.
Nice.
Depending on like the budget of the person.
Yeah.
And so I think every household did that.
Yeah.
So for us, it was like the kid who got the most bags was like, hey, you're a badass,
Yeah, like the king, huh?
Yeah, he was a king.
So-
And so we always looked forward for that when it came to Christmas. So it was like, hey.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good Christmas. I mean,
Uh-huh.
We were, growing up, we didn't have a whole lot. We were pretty poor growing up. And, for Christmas, we would get similar stuff. We would get apples and oranges and, they would have like a little bag like you were talking about like that.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Uh-huh.
But, and then my uncle, he dressed up like Santa Claus, And when you're 16, he's like, come over, sit on my knee. It's like, wait a minute. I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah. No.
Keep your oranges. Keep your oranges away from me.
Yeah.
Come here, I got a bag for you,
See,
little boy.
we didn't have that. And,
Yeah.
And I see people my age that were born and raised here,
Yeah.
And sometimes they show me pictures of like back in the day, and they got pictures with Santa Claus,
Yeah.
and it's like,
So,
yeah,
whatever.
hell, we couldn't even afford to buy a camera, so much
No.
less.
I was,
And so like I said, hey, for us, the celebration begins on Christmas Eve. Mexicans celebrate Christmas Eve, or they start the celebration on Christmas Eve,
okay.
and they stay up all night until Christmas morning. But I remember we would gather at my grandma's house on Christmas Eve, right before midnight, and we would sit there and just, she would read the Bible, and we would sing and stuff like that, and so we would end up in church for midnight mass, and then it was like, oh, it's Christmas, and everybody hugged each other, and it was like, Merry Christmas, and then we come home and we had a feast, and because all the women got together and they cooked several things.
Sounds like a pretty good Christmas
Yeah.
to me.
I was being funny the other day because somebody asked me right before Christmas, they said, are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah.
I'm about as ready as I've ever
Yeah.
been, I don't know.
It's become so commercialized where it takes the real meaning out of it, and and it's sad, like it just piles on every generation coming up, every new generation, where it's like it's just consumer driven, where it's like you have to go out and do this. This is the way the commercials are and society is you have to you have to go out and spend all this money and stuff like that, and
So like I said, my first Christmas here, and I was telling my sisters, like all the Christmas lights and all the joy, and you could feel it in the air, like the Christmas music and all that. Everywhere we went, even Walmart was playing Christmas music, on their intercom. And you go to the bank and cash your check, and they'd be playing that Christmas music, and everything was like really Christmassy, and all the neighbors and the neighborhood or in that street where we lived, we never had a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And so for us was like, okay, you know, kind of like awesome, but what's going on? Like,
Let's
what
try to
is
figure
this?
this out.
Yeah, let's try to figure out what the meaning of the tree and all that. You
Yeah.
know? And then there's like, oh, buying presents and wrapping them and putting them under the tree and stuff. Like, okay, and so it was a cultural shock for us.
Yeah.
The first year, and it was like, oh, it's awesome, you know, it's awesome.
Yeah, but in a good way, right?
Yeah, and yeah, in a good way. It was like, oh man, this is awesome. But then I kind of got sick to my soul when actual Christmas came. And,
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you guys don't do this, you guys don't do that.
Yeah.
No, what are you talking about? You know, or the neighbors saying, oh, we had a really good Christmas because Santa Claus blessed us with a lot of presents, and I was like, all right, who is Santa Claus? You know, who the hell is Santa Claus?
Well, just come by my house like.
You don't see the fat man dressed up in the velvet or in the red velvet suit, you know, singing ho ho. Yes, I know, I know the character now, but like, who is he?
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
So why are we having this man, you know, why are we not like saying happy birthday Jesus or none of that?
Yeah.
You know? And so I had to learn how to save my emotions, you know, when it came to that, because once again, like I said, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful.
No,
this is just the American way of celebrating Christmas, you know, and to me,
it's because it's like I said, you know, it's consumer driven.
Yeah,
and you know, Santa Claus is a made up thing where, you know.
But a lot of people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm nobody to say, hey, it doesn't. You know what? I've been asked before, and I was at this place a few years ago, and they were asking me this. Seems like they ask me the same question every year. I'm like, are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a going thing, yeah.
I haven't bought anything, and I'm not buying nothing.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you buying no presents for your girls? No. Why?
Yeah.
You're an asshole. What? Why? What part of like?
Well,
you know why they said the first thing they said. Well, you're Mexican. You guys don't celebrate Christmas. We do, but not that way though. But I mean, if that's the way you want to live.
Well, see, that's another thing too. As growing up in America with Christmas, you know, you get that guilt. You get the guilt, like if you don't get something or if you don't buy a gift. You know, it's for somebody. It's been ingrained in to us where it's they make you feel guilty. It's like, I mean, like you see all the commercials and stuff and all this stuff, and you know, it just makes you feel like, man, you know, people are getting so much and all this stuff out there. In reality, there's a lot of people just like me. You know what I mean?
But I tell you what. So, after my first Christmas was like, oh yeah, all right. Then I got sick to my soul. And then the second year was like, here comes Christmas, right? So we kept to ourselves at home, and Mama, she would just cook something, you know, to celebrate Christmas. But we actually never went nowhere. We didn't get invited or none of that. But I was trying to tell you, I was trying to be funny the other day because they asked me if I was ready for Christmas, and I said, well, you know, I'm from Mexico, and we celebrate Christmas a different way, or we used to. I said, we were poor.
Yeah.
I said, that Santa Claus never came to my house. I said, but thanks to Mama, she would always cook tamales, so we would at least have something to unwrap on Christmas, you know? Me and my siblings would be like, what'd you get? I got chicken.
I got beef.
You want to try it? But no, actually, no. That was just a joke. No, once again, Santa Claus was not part of our celebration. And nowadays, a lot of these traditions here in the U.S. have spilled over the border. And so Santa Claus is not a stranger in Mexico no more.
Yeah, because I think, you know, when a lot of people come over and they go back, they take some of those traditions with them.
Yeah,
You know,
they do. Like, and I was telling you the other day, I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I was just like, I was beginning to get mad because they started celebrating Thanksgiving in Mexico, and I was like, why?
yeah, that's weird.
Why?
Yeah, that's but
Another thing that pisses me off is they started celebrating Halloween.
oh really? Now don't in Mexico don't they have like a day?
We
of the
have
dead
the
or
Day of the
something?
Dead.
Yeah,
But it has
it's totally
nothing to
different,
do
right?
with, you don't go out and ask for candy,
Oh, okay.
you know? You don't dress as, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You dress as, well, you paint your face, like a sugar skull,
Yeah.
basically. Women.
Now what's that holiday based off of? Day of the Dead? Is it?
So, that is actually something that natives celebrated.
Okay.
The natives. Where I come from, my home state, is the only state in I'm going to say in Latin America. So what we have is the monarch butterfly sanctuary. It's in my home state, and the butterflies they migrate from Canada to my home state and then back.
Okay.
They leave Canada, and it takes 3 generations to make it to Mexico.
Wow.
They make pit stops along the way, and it takes
So they
months.
just reproduce and
And they died, and then their offsprings fly from
it's
point
I
A
mean,
to-
this like how weird is that they know?
Yeah,
You know.
that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But so you'll be like, what does butterflies got to do with the Day of the Dead? Well, okay. So for years, and I'm talking hundreds, if not thousands of years, they've been doing this. Okay. And so the natives, where I'm from, the weird thing is that they arrived on the Day of the Dead,
Oh,
which is November the 2nd.
so it's kind of like an omen.
And so the natives, they believed that those were the souls of their loved ones coming back.
Oh, okay. I see.
And it's, man, and listen, every year, like clockwork,
They arrive on.
they arrived on the 2nd. You don't see them on the 1st. You don't see them on the 31st, which is Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't see them, those days.
Yeah.
It's November the 2nd, which is the main day, because there's 9 days of celebration. Like one day you celebrate your grandparents, and then the next day is like your parents, and then like the next day is for kids,
Yeah.
babies and stuff like that. And then I know one day is for like tragic deaths, like people that died in accidents or stuff. But November the 2nd is the day that you celebrate for everybody.
Everybody. Okay.
Yeah. And so they would build altars,
Yeah.
with offerings and stuff. And they would do it outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
And so as they're doing all these rituals and stuff, dude, them butterflies would start showing up in the air,
Really? Wow.
And
That'd be
so-
really
Yeah.
creepy, but I mean, it's neat, but it's
Uh-huh.
kind of creepy too.
So that is it became like everybody celebrated that,
Yeah.
And it's been going on for thousands of years,
Yeah, but when they, like the natives, when they first saw that, I bet you they were like, "Oh man,"
Yeah.
And
And so-
this? Freaking out.
So the natives never really bothered to find out, hey, where they come from, because they believed that those were the souls of their loved
Yeah.
ones coming back,
Yeah.
And so, and they knew they hibernated in this certain patch of, like in the woods,
Yeah.
like they don't stop just anywhere. Like they know where to stop.
They know exactly what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they know exactly.
That's
where.
wild.
And
You
it's
know-
not like, oh, this year is here, and the next year will be, or the year before they were here. No, it's the same area. Right?
Wow.
And so,
And still, that kind of, I mean, that just to reproduce and the offspring nowhere to go.
and
I mean, it's just
yeah,
freaky. I mean,
it is. And I actually, one of my colleagues in North Carolina, he grows them. And when he found out that I was from there,
yeah.
dude, we became like best friends.
Okay.
Because it's like, he asked me, have you been there? I said, yeah, I've been there. How is it? I said, man, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I really, because November, and I'm not saying that all of them arrive on the 2nd,
Yeah.
but on the 2nd is when you
That's
first
when you
start
see
seeing
them.
them, right? And as the days go by, you know, rest of November and December, they a lot more start showing up. And you go to a certain patch or a certain spot in the woods where all of a sudden, like in the morning, around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning when the sun comes up and they start like flopping their wings and stuff, they start flying around, and you're in that area, and next thing you know, you're surrounded by millions and millions and millions of them.
Wow.
Dude, I was there and I was like looking up and I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
And so the Canadians, those were the ones that, like, dude, where they go? You know, where does damn things go every year? And so they fly south for the winter.
Yeah.
And then around end of March, April, they leave. But
I guess they go back to Canada.
yeah, they go back to Canada. So they leave Canada, but along the way, like I said, it takes 3 generations to make it to Mexico,
Yeah.
to that sanctuary. And I know one spot is in Texas, but my buddy over here, my colleague in North Carolina, he races. He buys them.
Really?
He buys a little larva, and he races them. And he's got this little, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a little cage, you know? And he races like, you know, up to 30, 40, and he tags them.
What's he do? I mean, what's he do with them? Like, is it it's just a hobby, or
yeah, it's just a hobby. He buys the
Wow.
little larva, and he hatches them, and then they go through that. What is it called? Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I know stuff about it.
it's like a worm, and then they become a little cocoon,
Yeah.
and then they come out of there as a butterfly,
Yeah.
and then once they're ready to fly, he actually tags them.
What,
Like they sell these little tags, and he like puts them on.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like, dude, some of my babies are in your home state.
So what? What's the reason to tag them? It's just because he can keep up with them, or
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's people that
Uh-huh.
researchers, I guess.
Okay.
They can like catch one, especially because there was a damn it, like this chemical that farmers used to kill the weeds and stuff back in the day. It was hurting not just butterflies; it was hurting all kinds of animals. and stuff.
DDT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that right there. They, you know, researchers was like, hey, what's causing this, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, Canadians were like, dude, where they go? And so they started chasing them, and that's the reason why they tagged them. They started tagging them so they could track.
Figure it out.
You know, this is before GPS and computers and stuff. So they started tagging them, and then just in case if they would find one, they would be like, call the number and be like, hey, I found one in Texas.
Oh.
So that would be that was like a good starting point for them. Like, oh, they fly south.
And I bet with those researchers that you know birds, they migrate, but butterflies, I mean, and just from Canada to Mexico,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I bet you their minds were
So when the researchers arrived in my home state and they were like, oh man, awesome, there's a sanctuary here, you know, and they were trying to talk to the locals, and like we're like, hey, we found this, and the locals were like,
Don't touch it.
Like, we know. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like this is our sanctuary, you know.
Yeah.
And so they thought they were going to school the locals about the butterflies when
they knew all.
when they knew, but for them it had a different meaning, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it still does.
Yeah.
And so, so the celebration of the Day of the Dead comes from my home state.
And who's to say it don't really mean something? I mean, what a coincidence! Something that tiny can fly that far and reproduce 3 times, and their offspring
Knows where to go.
knows exactly where to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
But see, here's the weird thing. It takes 3 generations to get to the sanctuary, but
Yeah.
it only takes 1 generation. Like the ones that make it to Mexico and hibernate, they make it to Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
That is weird.
That's pretty wild. I'm gonna research some of that and get
Do that, and if you ever
check
want
it
to
out.
go, let me know.
Okay.
We'll go together.
Yeah, I'd like
We'd love
to.
to have somebody with me over there and show them how it is, because I people have misconceptions about Mexico and about where I come from, because I get a lot of
Yeah.
I get people asking questions that it's just like, for real.
Well, we get to hear. I mean, you know how the news outlets are. I mean, they're just always doom and gloom, and it's all about ratings. And you
There's hey, let me tell you something. There's places in Atlanta that I will not go to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and there's places in Gainesville that I will not go to.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything's safe.
Yeah, and that's you got Cancun, Mexico, right?
Yeah, which is an Americanized.
Yeah, and so
town.
everybody goes there, and hangs out, and all Americans and stuff. But like, I see what you're saying. Like we get to hear the doom and gloom side of what Mexico's like, but in reality, it's basically pretty normal.
It is normal. Well, I will say this, okay? When I first got here, and I remember people be like, "Don't drink the water in Mexico," and I used to get mad. I used to be like, "Why? Why not? What the fuck? No, it's just water. Water is water." No, it's not.
No.
Now, when I hear people say, "I'm going to Mexico," number 1 advice I can give you is don't drink the water.
Drink the water.
Because let me tell you, my stomach has become Americanized, and it has put me in a damn hospital. I like to die one time
really?
for drinking the damn water.
Jeez.
Every time I go, I come back sick, or I would come back sick, and then I'd go to the doctor, and as soon as the doctor walked in, and he's like, "You been to Mexico, huh?"
So it must be some kind of bacteria, like in the water.
Yeah.
But like our water, like if you have city water, it's I don't drink that stuff either.
No.
Because it's just recycled water, and
I've been by the water treatment places.
Yeah. Like I can drink that bottle of water, and I'll be recycling it here in a few minutes, right? And I'm not gonna drink that. So
now imagine all these people that take legal drugs, like pills and stuff. I heard some horror stories about it. I don't know if it's truth or not, but
like the water messing with the.
No, actually, like if you take pills, like what is it called, Lortabs and stuff like that. You pee like that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like your body won't
it won't
absorb like the whole thing, and you pee part of it, and it ends in the water and stuff. And they're like, okay.
It's like one day you're just drinking city water.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I feel great.
Man, I feel great. That must have had some Vicodin in there or something.
Medicinal potencies.
But anyhow, to get back on topic, right? So we get here, we go through our first Christmas, and it was like, oh, awesome, and it went from awesome to fuck. But like I said, I had to learn how to save my emotions, and I wasn't gonna start arguing with people about you're doing it wrong, For all I know, I might be wrong,
Well, I mean,
and I respect, because I was told like the first thing I was told when I got here was like, look, you know, learn English,
Yeah.
and assimilate the culture.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the least I could do because
Well,
I was given the chance to be here legally.
I tell you why would you not if you're going to live in another country? You know, you
Man,
have to learn the language. I mean,
and this is the greatest nation in the world, you know, and I'm happy. If I ever get to the point where I'm tired of it, I'll just leave, you know?
Yeah.
Because it pisses me off when people start talking shit about this country. About just leave,
just go home.
go back home, you know.
But I mean, like, if you're a citizen,
Yeah,
you have the right to express your feelings also about things, and I mean that's what America's all about. Is, you know, we may have difference in opinions, but we're all American, and we're, you know, like the whole politic game, you know, between the Democrats, Republicans, and stuff like that, blah blah blah, and I mean that's what America's about. It's got to the point where if you vote for this person or this person, you know this person's going to hate you, and this person, and you know it's like
let's get into that.
Yeah, and you have that right. Like that's our right to where.
And I think I've told you this story before. I grew up watching reruns of Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And we had a black and white television. So I went until I saw an episode in color that I realized that the General Lee was orange.
Yeah.
And on top of that red flag or red, white, and blue flag, you know, which to me was like, man, that's a beautiful flag.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful flag. And I fell in love with that flag.
Yeah.
And when we got here to Georgia, actually back then was the state flag, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe Alabama was like the whole Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Here in Georgia, I think it was part of it, like half of it was like something, and then the rest of it was the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
And then I was like, awesome, we're in Georgia. And I was like, man, I want to go to Hazard County, you know? It was just a show. And there's no such thing as Hazard County and all that. And so I didn't know the whole meaning of the flag, that, you know, what it meant for white Americans and what it meant for black Americans, you know. And to me, it was just a beautiful flag. Yeah. Now I get caught up in the middle because I like the flag.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, and so I remember coming back from the flea market in Pendergrass. Yeah. And driving back home, and this dude sat there in the middle of nowhere selling flags and stuff like that. Yeah. And that was one of them. And I stopped and I was like, "Urgh." And I kept pointing at it. Like, I want one of them flags. And the guy looked at me like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You know? And that's when I understood, or a little bit, because it took me years to like, why? Ask why. And I couldn't get a straight answer from neither white Americans or black Americans, you know? Yeah. Because I'd be like, why? What's the deal with the flag? You know? Then I had to sit there and explain myself every time as why. Listen, all I'm trying to educate myself. Okay? Yeah. Because for you guys it has a meaning, for these guys it has a different meaning, and for some reason if I wave that flag I can get my ass kicked from either side. Yeah. It's just gonna look weird.
It's gonna be like, dude, what are you doing?
Dude, like,
but I mean, but that's the thing is like that flag has been. I mean, it's a Civil War flag, right? So,
yeah.
And it's like, but it's been used where there's a lot of people died under that flag, you know, in war, and it's sad that it's been turned around and, you know, and it's showcased in such a bad light where, you know, and you know the way it's been used in the past and stuff like that, and I mean, I really don't have the answers on either side, but it's like you shouldn't get mad at somebody for want to own a certain flag or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It don't mean that they're racist or crazy or anything.
I mean, when you see the American flag, right? What do you see? It's a symbol, right?
Yeah, and
it's
that's
the national symbol,
yeah,
right?
and that's just it too. Like we only have one flag, and it's an American flag,
Uh-huh.
and because we're all Americans, and it's like, but you got radical groups that take stuff and take it out of context or make it something that it was never intended to be. I mean, so.
And so, like, I went to school and I started learning English, and
Yeah.
I just got better with time. I still struggle every now and then,
Yeah.
But when I applied for my citizenship, it wasn't given to me. Just like, here it is.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't understand.
I applied for it, and I had to get fingerprinted, and they did a background. I'm not talking like going to your local police department and be like, can I get fingerprinted? No. I'm talking like I went to the headquarters, like the FBI headquarters in Atlanta, and I got fingerprinted there, and it took a while before I came back because it's not just, I guess they don't just look for stuff locally like they do like nationwide, whatever, and then I went to let's see, once I got fingerprinted, I went back and they gave me like this books that like, all right, so you're gonna learn everything about the U.S.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. And I had to learn the whole history about the U.S. I'm talking from like the first president,
Yeah.
all of the founding fathers, all of those guys that signed the Declaration of Independence. I had to learn everything about the we the people, the Bill of Rights, and who was the like who wrote the national anthem, who was he?
Yeah.
Who said the like Paul Revere, who was Hamilton too, all of these different important characters that
Thomas Jefferson.
Benjamin Franklin, and I had to learn everything. So
well,
when it comes to that, I feel like I've earned my stripes.
Yeah, and that saying, put your John Hancock on it.
Yeah.
That's, that comes from
John Hancock, which was one of the founding fathers, one of the people that got together and said, hey, and so
like, okay, let me ask you this, and I mean, you don't have to answer or whatever, but I'm just curious. Okay, since you went through all that hard work and put all your time into that, learning English, doing all this that you're talking about, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So
I had to memorize 100 questions, and it wasn't just like I'm talking like 100 questions with the answers and definitions and everything. When I took the test, I was ready. Like I knew a lot about the American history, like the humble beginnings of the American history.
So, okay, since you went through all that and you did all that and you achieved so much, just wanting to be an American, how does it make you feel when someone comes from another country and doesn't go through that process? I mean, to me, that would kind of piss me. I mean,
no offense to nobody, but once again, the way I felt being in Brazil and not being able to communicate with them, that's how I feel. It's frustrating because my daddy was an American citizen too.
Yeah.
My mom, and daddy, he worked his whole life here, and so nothing was given to us.
Yeah.
We had to earn it, you know.
Yeah.
And from the first day that I got here, I've been paying taxes, you know,
Yeah.
ever since. And I don't ever qualify for anything, you know.
Me either.
I don't.
That's how people do that.
You know, I saw a thing on Facebook one time that said, "You see me all normal, but you know, deep inside, I do want an EBT card."
Exactly. I want to eat steak.
I want to eat lobster and steak and stuff like that. You know, I want to be able to do that. But talking to one of my colleagues was like, "Man, dude, can you imagine if I ever have to apply for those kind of benefits? That's because I'd be sorry as hell.
Yeah.
I would put a damn paper bag over my head."
Yeah, I've never. I guess it's not as much as pride as it's. You know, if I'm able to work and supply for myself, you know, that makes me feel better than a handout any day. So.
Once again, I had to learn how to save my emotions.
Yeah.
Don't let them get the best of me. So I've been in line at Walmart.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
Paying for my groceries, and I got just a few things, and come out of there with $100 tab.
Yeah.
You know, like, the fuck, man.
Yeah, that's like.
But the person in front of me has just a buggy packed to the gills, and they whoop out that damn EBT card. It's like, I start twitching, man. It's like,
I seen these two
something's not
girls.
right. Because I know, you know, for Americans, like every single brown person in their eyes is illegal.
Yeah.
You know, but we're not all illegals,
Yeah.
right? And so, but for me, I know who's who.
Yeah.
Right? So I know, you know, you're not here,
Yeah.
and you're getting this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Something's going on.
Yeah. What am I doing wrong? No, it's not that I'm doing something wrong. I'm just doing something right.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
I'm doing the
I
right
mean,
thing. You know.
I wouldn't want to live like that personally. I mean.
And that, but see, that's the thing. The biggest problem that I see there is people like that. They get all these benefits. They ride the system, and then they tell their family members or friends, or be like, hey, y'all need to come to America.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason why this country got flooded with.
Yeah.
Because this country gives out
Yeah, they were like just giving out money, like,
you know, like, here. Hey, what about us?
Exactly,
What about
you know?
us? Like,
the people that's here that's working and trying to have a family and everything else, and
you know, I'm not saying all the time, but at least once in a while, just kind of put something in my bank account. You know, encourage me to do better. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
some kind of incentive. Like, you know what? For being a good citizen for the last 15 years,
Hook us up.
here,
Hook us
$1,000.
up, Trump. Hook us up.
Yeah. And I don't know much about politics, and I'm trying to stay away from all that. I'm trying to stay neutral because
Yeah,
it don't matter.
it's always an argument,
Yeah.
you know, because you're not going to persuade somebody else to feel a certain way. And
When it comes to religion and politics,
yeah,
the best thing for you to do is just keep your mouth shut
yeah,
and keep your beliefs to yourself.
yeah.
Once again, I celebrate Christmas in a way, and that's just me, and I'm just letting everybody else be. It's your life. Do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, when you
And
told
if I
me,
die,
mean,
you know, because I've been told before, like, you don't believe in Santa Claus? No, you're going to hell.
well, Santa Claus ain't gonna say.
Well, you know what? If I die and if I get judged for not believing in Santa Claus, then I'll be like, damn it. But I'm just gonna continue living the way I am. You know, I got here, I learned the language, and I assimilate the culture. I respect the culture. I don't celebrate a lot of the holidays, you know.
Yeah.
But it don't mean I'm against it. It just means that I respect the.
I saw this funny meme where it was a dominatrix, and
Mhm.
she's standing over this guy in bed. She's like, "Have you been a naughty boy?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And it's anyway, it was Santa like ripped the mask off.
Uh-huh.
He goes, "I knew it." dude's face was like.
So like, Thanksgiving, it's an American holiday.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. Well, I'm an American citizen now, but
yeah, it's kind of weird to me.
it's like, okay, I respect that, and I love Thanksgiving.
And too, I would think if I was from
I
Mexico,
don't
that
know
would
what
kind
to do.
of,
I feel-
that tradition. I feel like if I was from Mexico and I was living in Mexico and somebody came there and they're celebrating Thanksgiving, that would kind of tick me off. I would think because, I mean, it has nothing to do with.
It has nothing to do. That's why I keep saying, man, dude. Like especially this past Thanksgiving, I got on social media and I noticed a lot of people in Mexico are like carving turkeys or cutting into ham, and I'm like, wait, what? What? Can you do that? That what? Yeah, exactly. What does that got to do with us? You know?
So
Nothing. It has nothing to do with us. And I will tell you another holiday, another for all of you that don't know about this. But Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Okay. Cinco de Mayo is an American holiday, and that is about as American as apple pie and baseball. Because if you go to Mexico on Cinco de Mayo, you'll hear the damn crickets chirping in the background like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We don't celebrate that, dude.
Oh, you don't?
No. No.
Well, that's y'all's Independence Day, right?
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's not.
Oh,
It's not.
Thought that.
No.
I thought that was like y'all's is 4th of July.
No. See, that's where people get confused. So, back in the 1800s, and I don't know the exact year. Shame on me for not knowing that. But Mexico owed a lot of money, and they still do. It's been hundreds of years, but I said 1800, 1860, something like that. They owed a lot of money to the U.S., Spain, and France.
Yeah.
Now, France used to own Louisiana.
Yeah.
And they sold it to the U.S.
Yeah, because
The Louisiana Purchase.
The French would only build a city underwater.
Yeah, all right.
Basically.
Yeah. And so basically, once they sold that territory to the U.S., they were out of the Americas.
Yeah.
Completely out. Spain still sort of kind of dominated California because Mexico was conquered by Spain.
Yeah.
And Mexico was what we know as Texas today, and Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Colorado, and part of Utah, and California, and all that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so all these, like the French army, the U.S. army, and Spain, they all showed up to Mexico City at the same time, demanding their money.
Wow.
Yeah, and the president at that time was like, "Oh, give me some time. We're broke." And they came to an agreement, and they're like, "Okay, cool. We'll leave you alone." So everybody left.
Yeah.
The U.S. came back to the U.S. Spain left. France, they left. Or Mexico thought they had left. Dude, they came back.
Oh, for real?
They turned around and came back, and they were like, yeah, dude, like, we're taking over, right? So, on Cinco de Mayo, which is May the 5th, 300 Mexicans with sticks and stones and a little bit of, like, the few guns that they had, fought and defeated the French army. Beat the shit out of them. And Spaniards, they didn't want France back in the Americas.
Yeah.
And so when they find out that the Mexican army had done that, they threw a big celebration.
All right.
Dude! and it became a just a every year thing. Like, you know, like
Yeah,
the following year it was like, man, remember last year we beat the shit out of the French army? Hell yeah! And they started celebrating, and that's why it stayed here, because it was born here in the U.S. You know?
Yeah, that's crazy. I always thought it was like y'all's Independence Day, like
No.
4th of July. You know,
No.
and yeah, that's pretty
No.
wild.
May the 5th. Like I said, if you go to Mexico,
That just shows you can market anything to make money.
yeah,
Corona beer
Dude.
is about as American as you can get. Right?
yeah. So, and I remember my sister and I, you're like, dude, they celebrate this here? Why? I mean, cool, but why?
Yeah.
You know, we don't do nothing back
Yeah.
home. I like over there in that area where they fought,
Yeah.
where it actually happened. I think they do some kind of parade or something.
Okay.
And listen, just for the record, okay? Because France, they used to have slaves too.
Yeah.
Okay, now it wasn't just here in the U.S.
It was everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, so sad part about it is that the army that the Mexicans fought were mainly black people.
No.
Mainly, you know, obviously your generals and stuff were
Yeah.
full-blooded French, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ones that were in the front line were
Uh-huh.
blacks.
Yeah.
And so there's a reverend here in the U.S. I don't want to mention no names, but I think it's Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
Motherfucker. Anyhow, he pitched a fit about the parade because they do some kind of reenactment or something.
Oh, okay,
you know?
yeah.
It's not just a parade, you know, they do some kind of reenactment. and to make it more, you know, believable,
You're at it.
the French part,
Uh-huh.
they paint their
Oh,
faces
no.
black, you know.
I mean, come on, they got no black friends over there. Come on, man. What the heck?
So,
That ain't right. That's so, I mean, dude.
I'm sorry. So, Jesse Jackson was not happy about that. I was like, dude, what the fuck, you know? And has nothing to do with me, right? Or it's
Uh-huh.
just, I guess it's just to make it more believable.
Yeah, yeah.
More like, oh, awesome,
Yeah.
you know? But that's just how it is. And then, United States went to war with Mexico. And that was because of Texas.
Yeah.
Texas was, like I said, part of Mexico.
Yeah.
And Mexico had a treaty with the U.S. It was like, hey man, you know, it's a vast territory. You know, you guys can help me colonize here. You know,
Yeah.
and they went in. Problem is that they didn't want to follow no rules or laws. All right?
Oh, yeah.
It was like, we're gonna settle here, but nah, I don't. I'm not gonna follow your
Yeah.
rules or laws. I'm not gonna pay you taxes, right? And so basically that's how it all started.
Yeah.
Was the Mexico came in and was trying to drive everybody out, and this was a fairly young country and growing.
Yeah.
So they just basically helped Texas.
Yeah.
They helped them, and they went to war, and they ended up in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the generals that fought that damn war was Lee and Winfield,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even them, they're like, dude, what we're doing is not right, because it's like you're fighting a 5-year-old kid, basically.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know
they didn't agree with it, but they were just following orders.
Yeah.
During the war, back then, there was a battalion. It was called the St. Patrick Battalion. It was just mainly Irish people,
Yeah.
Irish soldiers, and those were the ones that I guess it's like the Marines now when
Yeah,
you go to war.
special
They're the
forces.
ones that hit the front line before anybody, you know. And so a lot of those generals were not, they didn't agree with it. Like they knew this is wrong, right? Especially the St. Patrick Battalion, because once they got into Mexico, they turned around and fought against the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
I know.
And so in Mexico City, the St. Patrick Battalion, it is a man, we love them. Like they're our heroes because they're like they did something for us.
Yeah.
Or for them back then.
Yeah, and you know the French, they've only won one war.
Oh, really? Which
against themselves.
And so
they have an independence day from fighting against themselves.
So they ended up winning the war, and so Mexico ended up giving Texas its own. You know, like, all right, right, you want to succeed off the. And Texas, for all those people that said, well, United States took Texas away from Mexico. No, they didn't. They just helped them gain their own independence, because Texas was a republic for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Then they were afraid, like, man, we're afraid they're going to come back and get us, right? Just like Russia is doing with Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
And so what they decided just to join the Union.
Yeah.
That is why it's called the Lone Star.
Yeah.
The Lone Star.
Yeah, because they can actually break away.
Yeah, they can break away anytime, and they're like.
And you know that's
the one that I would love for them to break away from the Union would be California.
Yeah, yeah. I wish it would just break away.
Yeah, like actually break
become
away.
its own island.
Yeah, because there's a fault. You know, there's a fault somewhere in there where.
Yeah, they're talking about that.
And they're like, well, back in a few years ago, my grandma lived there in California. It was my mom, my dad's mom, and when they were talking about like it was gonna break away, I was like, no, please, not right now, because my grandma lives there, you know. But now she's dead, and now like I don't care.
True, yeah.
I don't care.
Please
happen. Can it be tomorrow?
I mean, that place is always burning or flooding or something.
I know, right? Or making out some stupid laws or banning things or whatever. You know?
I mean, I've never been, but I always heard. I mean, there's parts of California that is just absolutely beautiful.
I've been to. It's not Northern California, but I guess it's like Central Fresno.
Yeah.
I've been to Fresno for work. And I actually went to Yosemite. Dude, everybody has to go.
Yeah.
You got to experience that. It's a neat experience.
Yeah.
You got to go see El Capitan.
Yeah, I'd like to.
But it was a different world for me. Totally different. They talk different.
Yeah.
And especially when you start talking to them, and look, California, mainly Mexicans, right?
Yeah.
And a Mexican talking to you, and then you're like, and then they're like, where are you from? Like, where you from? You know, like,
yeah,
I'm from Georgia.
They're like, what?
And you start talking to them like, you got like a little bit of Southern accent. And then they start talking shit about, oh, Georgia, they're just racist. No, they're not.
Yeah, that's what.
California. You guys have a big misconception.
I know. Back on the French thing, they fought against the British, and the British would wear red pants.
Mm-hmm.
So when they would get stabbed or shot or whatever, when they bled out, you couldn't see the blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the French, they wore brown pants.
You couldn't see when they shed themselves. Anyhow.
Anyway, sorry.
So back to the main topic, right? So we get here, and we've been here ever since, and I love it. And it's big difference. Obviously, it's funny because I remember I was, I don't know, 8, 9 years old when I sold my first hamburger.
Yeah.
It wasn't real. It was a toy.
Like,
it was a little hamburger riding a skateboard. and I remember, like, I was looking at it, and my daddy said, that's a hamburger. And I was like, What? A hamburger? It's a sandwich. It's got meat and this and that. And so I could only imagine what a hamburger was, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't until I came to the U.S. that I had my very first hamburger from, can I say the brand?
Yeah.
Burger King.
No, big Burger King.
My first Whopper, and that was the best thing ever. They don't make them like they used to.
No.
Dude.
Man.
It was amazing. When I had my first hamburger,
I
had my first hot dog was in Mexico, and Daddy said, "You want a hot dog?" I was like, "A what?"
What's
a hot dog.
Talking about?
I said, "Yeah, but I don't think I want that part of the dog, though."
You ever had a ham dog?
No.
So a hot dog put in a hamburger bun?
No, no, because we don't. I come from a little, very small town in the middle of nowhere. I hear people talk about like, well, I come from the Boondocks. No, you don't know what the fuck Boondocks is.
I mean, you say like, okay, you know,
we didn't have no WalMarts.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you seen where I grew up.
Yeah.
And back in the day, there was nothing. Right there on 85 the exit, all there was a Waffle House.
I remember all that because we talked about this.
Overnight trucking, and they had a Catherine's Kitchen, and they had.
And there was really nothing in Jefferson either.
No, nothing. Like just a little hole in the wall town. So, but man, all that's changed so much down there.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Warehouse after warehouse.
And so, I remember. The first time we went to the grocery store, right? The first time we went to Walmart, and my daddy was like, "Please don't embarrass me."
I'm crazy. Oh, this.
Yeah, before we went there, he was like, "Please don't embarrass me because you're gonna see a lot of different." And people here, they're just normal, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, yeah." It's funny because. I would watch commercials about Gatorade.
Oh, yeah.
On TV, and I didn't know what a Gatorade was. The Gatorade back at home was in a glass bottle.
Okay.
Right? And so, but it was like, gee, expensive as hell. You know? So, and you couldn't find it anywhere. Not just anywhere. And so, I would see it on TV. And we get here and we go to Walmart and we're walking through all these aisles. And there's everything. I felt like I was in heaven, man.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh, they got Gatorade. Dude, I'm gonna drink a Gatorade for the first time in my life.
Like I have 50 different versions of Gatorade.
Because the one I saw on TV was kind of, I guess, the lime.
Yeah.
Lemon lime or whatever. It was green. So
that's what I like watching those videos on YouTube, especially like the British people coming over here to America for the first time, and they're like freaking out how big everything is, the stores, and it's just so funny because we do take a lot for granted, you know. And
you know, so around the corner where I grew up, there was a little convenience store. And I say convenience store so that people understand what I'm talking about. But it was actually a house. You didn't go in. You would get the stuff through the window. Okay. And the people that owned the store, they had to deal with my parents, or especially with Dad.
Yeah.
Daddy went and told the guy. He said, if my kids ever come here, or my wife, or if they need anything, please give it to them, and just write it down, and I'll come pay you. If they don't have any money. So our credit card was a piece of cardboard.
Not for real? Yeah.
A piece of cardboard.
Okay. You got store credit.
Yeah, and so I remember my mom would be like, "Can you go to the store and get this?" She'd give me a list, and she would hand me that little piece of cardboard. Right, and I go, and it was just like half a block around the corner. I go in there, or go to the window and be like, "I need this." I would give her the list, and she would get everything ready, and then I would hand her the cardboard, and she had another cardboard inside with Mom's name, and all the numbers had a match. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
a while ago you guys took this, and it was this much. So, you know, if it was 1, 1, 2, 2, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And if something didn't match, it was like, you know.
Yeah.
And so
but I guess you want to stay in good graces with.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
So at the end of the week, Daddy would go in there and just pay the tab, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just us. That was like the American Express for
Wow.
for people that anytime you see somebody go to the store and they have that piece of cardboard in their hand, that was like.
I like that picture. It's like somebody coming from Mexico in that situation for the first time. They like go in the convenience store with a piece of cardboard. Like, hey.
So check this out. Check this out. So in Mexico, back then, and I think they still do. If you buy a Coke, you got to take the bottle.
Yeah.
The glass bottle.
Yeah.
And plastic, I think it's like 1 liter or 2 or 3 liters. And there's some that they're disposable, you know.
Yeah.
But so if you wanted a Coke and you didn't have the bottle, you know what they used to do? They used to pour the Coke in a plastic bag and then put a straw in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you'd be walking around drinking Coke out of a bag, you know, with a straw. But it was normal for us. That was normal. So if someone from here goes there and they'd be like, "What the heck?" Yeah.
Coke in a bag.
But for us, it's normal.
Yeah.
So a Coke in the bag back at home is actual Coke in a straw, and you drink it. A Coke in the bag here,
That's a little different, ain't it?
It's a little different.
Coke in a
Has a
straw.
different color too, and the straw is for something else.
Yeah.
But so
That's another.
that's another.
Another good skit.
Yeah,
like,
that's another
dude from
story.
Mexico just shows, what's a Coke in a bag? And man, they were like, huh, what? Here's my paper.
Yeah,
Here's
so-
my cardboard.
So unless you give them like a deposit,
Yeah.
they won't buy like no, because when they get Cokes from the truck,
Yeah.
the delivery guy, if they're leaving so many, they got to take so many back.
No.
Right? If not, they get charged. That's why I can't get a Coke. Where's the bottle? I ain't got one. Well, you got to pay a deposit, or you want to just pour this in the bag and in the bag.
Do they still do that today?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, there's some kids, some Mexican kids that were born in Washington State. Their parents are from Mexico, and they started a singing band, you know.
Yeah.
And they became pretty famous here in the U.S.
Okay.
And then they went to Mexico, try to gain some of that market over there, you know.
Yeah.
And they were in Mexico City. And keep in mind, I mean, these kids are Mexicans, right?
Yeah.
And so when they give them a Coke in a bag, you know, they're like, what? and whoever was filming them, I mean, they filmed their reaction.
Oh yeah.
That shit went viral.
Oh, I bet.
And let me tell you, they got canceled overnight.
Oh, man.
They got kicked out.
Dang.
The whole country got together and was like, fuck them.
Yeah.
We don't want you here.
Dang.
Because you're talking shit about our culture. You know?
Yeah.
And so, and I don't care who you are. You can be the richest person in Mexico. I know for a fact someday you
Drink that Coke.
drink that Coke in the bag.
Just don't say nothing.
You know. And then there's a place nearby where I was born where they sell like crunchy tacos, but not your Taco Bell shit. Okay. But
Yeah.
like, they deep fry them,
Uh-huh.
and then they throw them in the bag, you know,
Yeah.
with all the fixings and stuff. So you eat tacos out of a bag, you know.
Oh.
But that's on the go, kind of
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurry, just put them in there. They put like cabbage and
Yeah.
some kind of
okay.
salsa and hot sauce and whatever, and you're walking and you're just digging them out of the bag, or some people what they do is they just crush them, and they just like they'll rip the one corner and they just and that was normal too, right?
Yeah.
That is normal. For some people, it's not when they go.
Yeah. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Ripping the bag, the bottom of the bag, and sucking it out.
Or yeah, or got a friend who in Mexico they would give us coffee with animal crackers, and we would put our animal crackers in the cup, and kind of eat it like a cereal. and that was a normal thing. And I got a friend who was a missionary, had been to different countries, and he said, "Dude, the one thing I can't not eat is the coffee and the animal crackers." And I was like, "Man, that's a staple right there."
Yeah, I know. Angelica, she eats that a lot too. So.
She doesn't. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's the thing to do, and that's just normal. A lot of the things that we do back home that is normal, it is not normal.
Now, what is the rice, like the sweet milk rice?
Oh, that is like pudding or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's now I guess for us, the beginning of Lent, which is on Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
That would be like our Thanksgiving, because that's when Mama used to cook all kinds of different stuff, and we would have a feast, man.
Yeah.
And you had to eat at least a little bit of everything. If not, she'd get mad. And that was one of the things that she actually would fix, that rice thing. And that was like the dessert.
Yeah, I've tried that before. It's pretty good.
And the Philippines, which all of that stuff is just Spanish influence, you know.
Yeah, just
and the Philippines, because the Philippines was ruled by Spain too. They have a dessert similar to that. You know, they call it puto, but in Mexico, puto is a bad word.
Yeah.
and it was like somebody asked me, "You want some puto?" And I'm like, "Man, what the fuck you calling it?" It's like the Filipino rice. Oh,
I know. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I used to know this girl. She was from Mexico City, and she was a younger girl at the time. I think she was probably 21, something like that, 22.
Mm-hmm.
And she just had moved here, and she had only been here maybe a year or something like that. And she just could not believe how the women here, the girls, get pregnant at an early age and move out, and like without a husband or anything.
Oh, dude.
You know, that was
a... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it was like, okay, I get it. You come here, and you have to assimilate the whole thing, the way of living, the way, except for that, like, because we were taught quite different,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say this, but like, my parents taught us like values and a lot of respect and and stuff like that. And so growing up, a divorce back home was unheard of. Or oh, she's pregnant. What? She's not married.
Yeah.
What? It was unheard of.
Well, see, that was freaking her out, because it was, and she was like, back home, she said, I could live at home as long as I wanted to.
Yeah, that's one thing. I get asked that a lot. Like, it's like, hey, you guys don't kick your kids out. No. Why? No, because it's like, here in the U.S., it's like, you turn 18, and I think your parents are just waiting for you to...
Well, that's I
guess
that's the magic number, because you're an adult. And
you're 18, and your dad comes home from work, and he expects you to be on the front porch with your luggage or your suitcase, and be like, all right, I gotta go. See you later. All right, don't come back.
But,
and Mexico is not like that. You can be 50 years old and still live with mom and dad, and it's a normal thing.
Yeah. That's what she was saying.
I got judged one time because my parents had a lot of, or my daddy, had a lot of medical issues, and they just needed a lot of
Yeah.
help, you know, physical help, like as far, because he didn't have no legs,
Yeah.
and so he was just in really bad shape, and Mama needed help too, and not only that, but financially too, you know.
Yeah.
Helping them pay rent or bills and stuff like that, you know, groceries,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And so I got judged one time because I lived with them,
Yeah.
and somebody asked me, so, hey, where you live? Oh, I live with I live with my mom and dad. And then they're like, their eyes got really big. They're like, what the fuck? How old are you? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever number I gave him, I was like, dude, you're a weirdo. And I was like, what? What? Why am I a weirdo?
About, yeah.
Because you still live with your mom and dad. And? You live in the basement? No, we don't have a basement, but I live with them. Dude, that's not right. And then this woman was like, oh, I would never date somebody that lives with mom and dad, blah, blah, blah. But it's not what you think, though, you know?
Yeah.
We're a family.
Yeah.
And families stick together, you know? And so...
Well, see, that, like, here, kids know when they turn 18, they don't have to listen to the parents anymore. They
Dude,
don't have
no,
to do,
not where I come from.
and it's just like...
My daddy died at 83. And I remember I didn't get my first tattoo until I was like 30-something.
Yeah.
And daddy got madder than hell. and I made that stupid mistake by telling them that I was old enough that didn't have no input on what I did with my life. You know?
Yeah.
And he said, he was sitting on a wheelchair. He said, run that by me again? What'd you say? And I got close to him. Big mistake. Because he grabbed me by my collar and he pulled me. I mean, he just pulled me.
Oh, yeah?
He still had a lot of strength. You know, he was strong.
Yeah.
And he pulled me towards him. He said, I don't give a damn if you're 80. If I'm still alive, I'm still your dad.
Yeah.
All right? And if I see you do something wrong, I'm going to pull your ear.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it really didn't mean like pulling my
Yeah.
ear. He said, if I can still beat the crap out of you, I will. Because that is my right.
Yeah.
I'm your dad. And that is where the big cultural difference comes in. Like, because I remember when I was growing up, my daddy would leave the house for days, and when he came home, it's like he never left.
Yeah.
Nothing was said to him. He never once got questioned like, where you been all these days, or who you been with, or what. As soon as that man would open that door, all of us, we ran, all the kids ran up to him, and we hugged him, and daddy, you know, whatever. And he sat down, just like any dad.
Yeah.
Sat down on his chair, and we would actually take his shoes off and socks, and we'd bring the slippers and stuff, you know. And I remember like offering him water or whatever. Like, Dad, you want water? You want coffee? You want whatever? He was the king.
Yeah.
Right?
I respected him.
Yeah, we respected him. And Mama, she did a good job bestowing that on us. Like, hey, when Daddy comes home, he's your dad.
He's the breadwinner. He's taking care of the family. You know, he's got, you know, I mean, look what he done. I mean, he brought all you guys here.
Yeah, and
then,
so
you know, it's.
So he would come to the U.S. and work for a few months, and then he'd go back home, and then he did that a lot, right? And so, my grandfather, I never met my dad's dad, but my mom's dad, he would do the same thing.
Yeah.
He'd be gone for days, and we knew he had a girlfriend, and which I was young at that time. I didn't really know none of that, but like they knew that he was with whoever. But he came home, and my grandma nor his kids, they never questioned him, never said, hey, never. It was like, welcome home, right?
Yeah, that's what
And I'm not saying, oh, that is bad. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not encouraging anything to nobody, but I'm just saying, like, that was normal back then.
Yeah.
Okay? So what was normal back then for them, is obviously it's not normal nowadays.
Yeah.
Because nowadays you can't even go to the grocery store without getting a text. Like, where are you
Where
at?
you at? You been gone 5 minutes more. You know.
Who the hell you been talking to?
Yeah.
I can't even ask, like, where's the
Why didn't you
cereal
answer
at?
your phone? I had it on silent, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Stuff like that, right? So,
Yeah.
so, corporal punishment in school was one of the things that, like, it was normal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I didn't bring my homework,
Oh, man,
be held to pay.
Yeah.
By the teacher, and then she would send a note home, and then I get my ass beat again at
Beat
home.
down, yeah. Well, we would too. growing
And
up.
so, I believe there's a fine line between beating your kid a lot or not beating them enough, you know. So I don't know if they didn't beat me enough or they beat me, like, overdid it or something.
Well, I think they probably beat me enough growing up. It's just I just didn't. I wouldn't listen, you know.
I don't think it worked out that way. But no, I mean, so a lot of the things that Hispanics started adopting here from the American culture was not seen with good eyes in our in our culture.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Nowadays, it's like, shit. Your daughter comes home. I'm pregnant. All right. What can you do?
So, yeah, there's
Right.
nothing you can't do if she's above age,
no.
right? Nothing.
But back at home, if a woman came home and said, I'm pregnant, all right, I'm killing somebody. And it's going to be you, and it's going to be the person that did that
Yeah.
to you, and if they don't marry you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, what is called, I guess, a shotgun wedding
Yeah.
over here, right?
Yeah.
But think about it this way. You got a family, that's your pride.
Yeah.
It's like having a wide, like a solid, wide, beautiful area rug in your
Yeah.
living room, right? You want that rug to be spotless.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want
Yeah.
no stains,
Right.
right?
That's your tribe. I
That's
mean,
yeah.
Your, you know,
So basically, if anybody in your family, especially your kids, if
Yeah.
they did something, it was like a stain on your
your name. Yeah.
yeah, and people would talk about you
Because
you know?
that's what a lot of
your
kids.
your reputation was like,
Yeah.
and so when people talk to you to your face,
Yeah.
is one thing, but when people talk shit behind
Yeah.
your back and the whole town gets together, is
Pitchforks and
Yeah,
pitchforks and torches.
yeah, it's shameful, right?
Well, and too, that's what a lot of kids don't understand. It's not been taught to many kids these days where you are a reflection of your parents. You know, where if you have great parents and they raised you right, you need to reimburse them with your attitude. And,
Yeah,
you know,
which
and-
that was another thing, and that was a thing that we were taught, I guess, in church, was like the main number one out of the obviously out of the 10 Commandments, the most important one is like love God
Yeah.
above anything,
Yeah.
right? But then the second most important one is honor thy
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Um,
And no parent's perfect and
No,
never
no,
will
no,
be.
no, no.
There's no. I mean, you can buy books and all this stuff, but you just don't know how kids are going to turn out.
no,
and
no.
and it's but like what you said, if you do honor your parents, that's going to give you a lot too. So and we just don't have a lot of that.
Daddy used to drink a lot back in the day when
Yeah.
I was growing up, and he'd come home drunk and beat the shit out of my mom, and I knew that was one thing I didn't want to do, right?
Yeah.
But who am I to judge him?
Yeah.
I'm nobody,
Yeah.
and nor I'll ever be,
Yeah.
And so, but he did his best.
I mean, you
The
don't have
thing
to.
about it is that this is the way I look at it. His parents, they never gave him any affection, any
Yeah.
love. It was back then. People were so poor that they would have a big family, so they can slave the kids
Yeah.
at an early age.
Yeah.
5 years old, you're out there working in the field,
Yeah.
earning your plate of food.
Yeah.
And so basically, you're forcing them to grow up,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what happened to Daddy, because at 8 years old he was picking cotton in Texas by hand.
Wow.
He didn't have no childhood. There was no time to play
Yeah.
because
They're trying to survive.
they were trying to survive.
Yeah, I mean,
And so by having all these kids, obviously the more kids you have, the more mouths you got to feed, but the more help,
yeah.
right? And so the mentality that they had was like, as soon as they grow up, well, we're set because they're going to work and they're going to take care of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was the mentality.
Yeah.
And still kind of lingering, but it's sort of kind of slowly fading, especially here in the U.S. because at 18 the kid is like, all right, bye, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Don't come back. You don't have to help me, but don't come and eat my bread.
Yeah. That's. But Juan, I think this is a good time for us to wrap it up, and
Well,
we had a really good conversation, and I really appreciate you coming and hanging out on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Maybe in the future we can talk more about all these cultural differences. I mean, we got off topic a little bit, but
yeah.
Just one quick thing. When I go back home, which I happen to do a lot, often, 3-4 times a year, I always say when I'm in Mexico, I go to Home Depot and nobody gets hired over there. No Mexicans get hired over there. You don't see Mexicans standing like waiting for somebody to be like, hey. And when you go to a restaurant, you never say, we're going to the Mexican restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
I got asked one time.
They're all Mexican restaurants,
Yeah,
right?
there's just restaurants. I was talking to somebody and I was like, oh, I'm going back home next week. Oh, awesome. And how you gonna get there? Airplane? Oh, you guys have an airport? Yeah, we do. The fuck you think they do? Like just put me on a damn parachute and just kick me off the plane or something? I had a question. I said, "What's your question?" Please do. No, don't get offended. Just go ahead. He kind of sort of whispered. He said, "Do you guys have cars in Mexico?"
Man, where's this guy from?
So, people, please, I know a lot of people have misconceptions about Mexico. What I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm just trying to clarify a lot of these things. There is cars. There is everything you see here in the U.S., it's actually over there now. I was driving through town, and where I was driving through, there was a McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, KFC, and I took a picture, and I sent it to the person who asked me if there was cars in Mexico, and I said, "Hey, look, this is Mexico." He said, "No, that looks like Gainesville." Where I live, which is Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville, Georgia.
I call it Gainesville, Mexico. But there we got cars, we got planes, we got everything you see here. It's over there. It's just the Hollywood and other people. They made it to where people like. I've asked people like, when someone asks you, or like if I ask you what's about Mexico, what's the first thing that comes to my life? What do you picture? Well, I picture this Mexican
Donkeys
on a poncho, and a big old hat, just kind of hunkered down, just taking a nap on the sidewalk, and this tumbleweed just rolling. It's not like that, okay? And if you really want to experience the real Mexico, don't go to Cancun, or don't go to those other tourist attractions.
Yeah.
Go to the real Mexico. There's like beautiful cities like. Mexico was conquered in the 1500s. We got buildings from back in that day. The U.S. is younger.
Yeah.
It became the U.S. in 1776. I mean, come on. By then, Mexico had been
around
for 200 years. Yeah. it's just it's the problem that I see here is just the way that it has been managed.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not good for the U.S. if Mexico actually became a good country. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want your neighbor to be better than you, right?
I mean, so
the U.S. says, hey, if I can keep Mexico and anything south of the border, you know, down here, I won't have no problem.
Yeah.
You don't want an uprising from all these countries against the U.S.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the U.S. has to be the top dog.
Yeah.
And so we don't count Canada because they're just whatever, but that's a different story.
Like a cousin.
Yeah. But
the other stepson or something.
But growing up, I knew what, you know, like I said, I used to watch reruns of the Dukes of Hazzards and stuff. I knew what technology was. It's just that certain things were not, you know, accessible.
Yeah.
But we were just a little bit behind on technology.
Well, so were we growing up. I mean, the way I grew up, it was out in the country, and, you know, we were pretty sheltered from society, other than going to school. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think the first time I had Chinese food was when I was 17, 18. You know,
I don't feel bad.
and I didn't even know what it was. I was like, and I didn't know what to order, and I was on a date with a girl and her aunt, and she took us to a Chinese restaurant, and I'm like, I'm not eating this stuff. I don't know what this is, you know. And I was like freaking out, and she was like, oh, you'll love it, you know. And
I get here in the U.S. I get asked by my customers, "You taking us out to eat?" Yes. Where do you want to go? Can we go to the Mexican restaurant? And I'm like, come on, man! I'm trying to grow out of that shit. Can we not get some good old Southern food?
yeah,
I
please.
love some
Please, some
Southern
good old
food. I love me
biscuits
some
and
good
gravy.
old biscuits and gravy, and I've been living on that for the last 25 years. And it's been great. God bless America. I love this country.
Thank you, Juan, for coming
Love.
on. I appreciate it, man.
God bless everybody, and hopefully I can come back and talk more about my culture.
For sure. Yeah.
And it's been an awesome journey here in the U.S.
Well, I think
I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
I think our conversation today will open some eyes about, and, you know, because there's a lot of things you said that I didn't know. It was, you know, eye-opening to me. So this is what the podcast is all about, is to bring light to, you know.
Yeah, and not just leave on that misconception.
Yeah, that's right. So try to get the truth out there. And two, we're going to have some fun in the future. We're going to do some other types of podcasts, you know.
Yeah.
We're going to do some podcasts on Bigfoot and the cryptids and stuff like that. And we can go into what, you know, the folklore is in Mexico.
Yes,
So,
yes. Which is like, I mean, I got some pretty cool stuff, you know, that I can share with you guys that will like literally blow your mind off. And please, I know you love your food. I know you love the food and not so much the people, but but it's been great. Hope to be back soon. We can talk about other stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode, the show. And by the way, I